There was no hobby. Yes, I wanted to be a tennis player at one point in time, but then for that you have to practice really hard, which I never did because of other things in life. And other than that, there was no interest in anything. And those questions were there in my head as well because I was really awkward. If you watch my old interviews, you'll know. I'm literally shivering and I used to forget everything because I used to just go blank with the anxiety of, having to talk to people was there. That time I just left home and I came to Bombay. And there was literally, my parents were not happy with my decision. So there were days and I could, even if I had a meeting the next day, I would stay up all night. I would write down all possible questions. That's how awkward I was with people. I would write down all the questions and all the answers and would forget everything the next day. You don't even realize in that moment where you're looking, what you're looking at. It just
Nazar and that is none other than Tripti Dimri. So nice to have you.
Thank you for having me here.
I have to say, first of all, big congratulations.
Thank you.
People are loving you, the kind of affection you're getting, and my Instagram is full of you, Explore is full of you. How are you feeling at the minute?
I am feeling grateful and I'm very, very happy that people could connect to my character. And, it's always a great feeling when you do something, you give it your best and, you want people to like it, you want people to love it. And that is something that has happened with this film. And I'm loving it. I'm enjoying each and every minute of it.
I have to, ask you that right now, I feel more than anything, there's a lot of curiosity. There is Tripti from, who is she? People want to know you.
Yeah.
I want to ask that to you, that before your first film, how did your first stint with acting begin? When was the first time you felt like, I take this industry?
Oh God. To go back in time.
Yeah.
I was in, college and I was never into study. I never wanted to do a desk job. I could never see myself doing a desk job, but I had no interest in anything. वो होता है ना कि hobby. There was no hobby. Yes, I wanted to be a tennis player at one point in time, but then for that you have to practice really hard, which I never did because of other things in life. And other than that, there was no interest in anything. And I was still trying to find out, what is my thing. And then one fine day, my brother's friend who's into photography, he just randomly took some pictures of me and sent it to an agency in Delhi. And then the next day I get a call from them.
Wow.
And that's how I started doing print shoots. And obviously parents were not happy with it. They were like, why are you getting into this? Because nobody in the family, nobody is into modeling or acting. And nobody even thought that, I would get into it because I was always an introvert. I would, if there were relatives at home, I would sit in a corner and just not engage because not because of anything, it's just that I just used to feel very uncomfortable talking to people. होता है ना socially awkward. And I was one of those kids who would be socially awkward. Never wanted any attention.
Oh my God.
Always in a corner. So when I told my parents that this is something I want to do, they were like, huh? What? Are you you can't you don't talk to people and you'll have to be in front of so many people. How will you deal with it? And those questions were there in my head as well because I was really awkward. If you watch my old interviews, you'll know. I'm literally shivering and I used to forget everything because I used to just go blank with the anxiety of, having to talk to people was there. Slowly, I started modeling, but then I realized that I wasn't really enjoying it. I was just doing it for the heck of it. That is when I thought I should explore acting. I started auditioning for TV serials. I got selected for a couple of them. Then I shot for a couple of them, and then people saw my work, and then other people, whoever saw the work, they contacted me, and that's how I got my first film, Poster Boys. With Bobby sir. That happened, and then after that, again there was nothing. I had auditioned for Laila Majnu in 2016 and had gotten rejected. Again in 17, I auditioned for the same role, and that's when I got selected finally. That happened, that released. Again after that, there was nothing. Nothing was, moving ahead. My career was at a standstill. Then those 2 years were a bit weird for me because I didn't know what to do in life. Because I was like, now that I've gotten into it, I want to continue doing it, but is there anything more for me? And it was a phase where I was, second guessing my choices and stuff like that. But then I thought I'll utilize this time and do something, make something out of it. So I, joined some acting courses, which is where I fell in love with acting. Till then, I had very little knowledge of the craft, and that's when I was like, so.
But we're so glad you didn't give up.
Thank God.
Thank God.
Those acting classes saved me.
Yeah.
Then I joined those classes, and then 2 years went by, and that's when Bulbul's audition. They were auditioning for Bulbul, and even then, a lot of people around me were like, "Why are you auditioning for an OTT film? You've given a theatrical.
Yeah.
Wait for another theatrical." And I was like, how long do I wait? I mean, it's boring. B, you lose motivation. C, it's like you want to do something. You don't want to sit at home and make breakfast and watch TV and go for class and come. I mean, going for class was one interesting bit, but then how long do you do that for? And in the meanwhile, I was auditioning also, but nothing solid was, something that was very interesting was coming my way. Then I did audition for Bulbul, and even when I was auditioning, I didn't know it would be a great script. So I just went in and auditioned, and then I met Anvita, and she narrated the whole story to me. That's when I was like, nice, this is something I want to do. Bulbul happened, again, the whole thing took 1 year because from the shoot to release, it was more than a year. So again, like, that year also went by just doing things here and there, trying to audition for more movies. And that time, because I had finished shooting for Bulbul, I had full faith in the story and I had full faith in what we had done. So I was like, I'm going to wait for the film to release before I sign other projects. Well, I know what that film can do. Obviously, there is, a part of you that is scared also.
Of course.
Which is like, what if it goes wrong? What if it doesn't work out? What will you do then? Then there was a part of me that said, see what happens, at least you've done something and something that made you happy and you had a great experience of working with people you worked with. And then Bulbul released and things changed. Like a lot of people started messaging me, and I think till Leela Majnu, they didn't see me as a good actor. But after Bulbul,
people started taking you seriously.
Yeah, seriously as an actor, which kind of, changed a lot of things for me and my career. And after that, there was still ups and downs, yes. But what's life without ups and downs?
Now only up. I have to ask you, like, before you said your first film, you shifted to Bombay and staying alone. People don't talk about that part.
Yeah.
That has been difficult for you as well.
Yeah.
In a recent interview, आपने बोला था कि I was buying vegetables after Lena. I knew and I thought कि मेरी film release होने वाली है. And I thought नहीं आ पाऊंगी. But how was that phase where you were, you shifted to a different city and auditioning every day? And actor की main चीज होती है patience.
Yeah.
Patience.
हमको काम मिलने के बाद भी बहुत चाहिए actor को. When you go on a set and you're waiting, so many things happen on a set. They're setting up. You need patience to sit on that chair for 2 hours to get your hair and makeup done. When you're sleepy.
Yeah. Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
You need patience to, sit on set when they're setting up the shot and taking other people's cuts. It is a game of patience.
Yeah.
So you need a lot of patience to be an actor, whether you're someone who has a lot of work or whether you're someone who's without work.
Yeah.
But that phase was interesting also. I would say I had a lot of guts back then. Looking back, that time I just left home and I came to Bombay. And there was literally, my parents were not happy with my decision. So there were days, and I knew that if I had to be in Bombay, I couldn't ask for money from home. Because if they'll be like, you can't survive there.
Yeah.
Come back.
Yeah.
What are you doing there? And I didn't want to go back. So there were times where I was without any money. Luckily, I had good friends who were there to support. My sister was there to support me. But all of this was hidden from my parents. And then there were days where, I would only, you wake up, you make breakfast, and then you're like, what to do now? Let's see what's happening, what auditions are happening. And then maybe Then I would take a break, go to Andheri. There was this restaurant in Andheri. There's this building in Andheri where all the auditions used to happen. So I would go from floor to floor, audition. And then the whole day would go in that. And beach mein lunch ka ek window milta tha. In that, there was this particular restaurant where I used to go and have my butter pulao, Sriji's.
Oh, that's the Tank Plaza.
Yeah, I used to have...
Wow.
My order used to be the same every day. Then butter pulao and chai. So after a point, they stopped taking my order. By Atithi, they make table Atithi and my order leke aa jate the. It was like that. So this went on for good 1 year. And then, yeah, you go, us time pe itna OTT nahi tha. So there were not many opportunities for actors. And you would meet your friends and they would be like, nahi ye kaam kya kare? And there were moments where you feel like discouraged. Where you feel like, what will happen? Will I ever get a chance to do something? And especially when you've done a film like Leela Majnu, after that also, my friends used to always tease me, friends from Delhi, that you've done 3 films, 2 films, still nobody recognizes you. But, and masti way, but kahin, उस टाइम ये हंसी आती थी, but कहीं ना कहीं आती है. बात तो सही है.
No, but there are these, that you might know her from Animal, but I know Leela Majnu. So there was a niche fan
audience for, yeah. I have gotten a lot of love for all the films. Leela Majnu को अभी 5 साल हो गए release हुए, but आज तक एक भी दिन ऐसा नहीं है when I don't get a message for that film.
Yeah.
Bulbul got a lot of love, Kala got a lot of love. So मुझे लगता है कि whatever happened, whatever ups and downs, it was meant to happen and it was all there for a reason.
And even Avinash is doing really well.
Really well.
Sure, are doing so nice to see journey.
You have been following. Yeah.
And what do your parents have to say now? Because
they are very happy, they're very proud.
Yeah,
a lot of people are calling them and congratulating them. So they're also very happy.
Was there a film after probably Bulbul or Kala or Leela Majnu where they were like, okay, we're okay if she, pursues this industry?
So they were happy after Poster Boys also. They were like, oh, बच्ची Sunny Deol और Bobby Deol के साथ काम कर रही है. My dad is a huge fan of both of them. So he was very happy, and after that, I got a green card that you can stay in Bombay and pursue the career. After that film, I think there were no issues from home. Before that, they were a little skeptical. They were like, what are you going to do? You don't get movies that easily. I mean, people struggle for 14 years. मैं तभी बोल रही थी उस टाइम पे guts थे. उस टाइम पे था this or nothing.
Yeah.
Today, if someone asks me to do that, I don't know whether I will be able to, put all my eggs in one basket. But that time I did.
Whatever scripts you've chosen, be it Bulbul, be it Kala, be it Leela Majnu, बहुत ही content-driven.
Yeah.
Was Animal also in your head more of like, I want to do this film because I like the content or because of the names and the banner and Ranbir Kapoor?
So I have always, there's this thing called the gut feeling. I trust my gut feeling a lot. And you know it from in 5 minutes of hearing a narration or reading a script, whether you'll do it or not. And I always go by that first feeling. And if it's a good feeling, I do it. No matter, if it's a OTT film, if it's a theatrical film. Because a lot of people ask me after Leela Majnu, why are you going for a OTT film? I said, because it's a good story and I had a good feeling about it. Same thing happened with Animal when I met Sir, Vangar Sir. He narrated, he only told me about my character and what she's doing in the film. And he told me that it's a negative part. I mean, you have a very limited screen time, but it's a very interesting one. And it's your call. And he told me that, it's a negative role, but I don't want people to see that. I don't want people to even get a hint of that. When they look at you, I want people to see innocence and love, which made it challenging and interesting. And I was like, wow, okay, this is something I would want to explore because it's a little different from what I've done till now. And I always aspire to, I want to do different roles. I don't want to be going into one zone because then, you get into a comfort zone.
Yeah.
And I know what my comfort zone is.
Which is?
I know. We'll fix it. I know, and I can very easily, just do the same kind of roles. But then after a point, you'll lose motivation and I feel like I will, वो होता है ना, एक ही emotion perform करके आप वो कर, मतलब you won't feel like doing it anymore. Unless you will be empty after a point. And I don't want to get to that point. That's why it's so important to keep experimenting with the kind of roles you play. So that you also know what your graph is as an actor. You also know whether you're growing or not. You also know whether, what your shortcomings are. What are the things that you are afraid of doing. So that you can work on them and improve them. And that'll only happen if you take up challenges. Otherwise...
Yeah. Tripti, what's actually fascinating right now is how you said that आप जब मिलते थे भी लोगों को you used to get anxiety because you were a very awkward person, and to see you on screen you don't feel like you would have been an introvert ever, especially when you're doing even an intimate scene. How do you convince that Tripti that I have to let myself out, I have to remove the shyness, I have to remove my awkwardness and be this Zoya?
I think it's happened over time. So initially I could, even if I had a meeting the next day, I would stay up all night. I would write down all possible questions. That's how awkward I was with people. I would write down all the questions and all the answers and would forget everything the next day. And this happens. I've spoken to a lot of people. It happens. But someone once told me the only way out is through. So you have to do it to, to get comfortable with it. And I think it's with time, because of the film releases, film release, release, I had to go interview with so many people. Yeah. Then the next film release, again the same thing happened. So with that, I think now I've come to a point where I'm still a little jittery, but it's gone down so much
drastically.
And when you're on screen, I think that changed after Poster Boys itself. That I was like, there were 100 people around me. First day I was very nervous because obviously someone who doesn't like any attention is sitting right out 100 people acting. And I could not perform in that film because I could not get over it. But then when Laila Majnu happened, I had to convince myself that, whatever's happening outside of this, it doesn't matter. If there are two people in the scene, I just see the other person and that's about it. I don't see only outside who's standing. Even if there's someone standing right, next to me, I don't look at that person. For me, they don't exist in that moment. It's just my co-actors and me. So I think when you go in a scene with that, it changes a lot for you and all your inhibitions kind of fade away. But you have to prepare for that mentally.
So,
yeah.
What I want to know is there is also a video that's going super viral about how you're looking at Ranbir, and honestly that every girl, because if he's in front of you, you can't take your eyes off him. What's your reaction when you see these things that you didn't realize in that moment?
Yeah, I mean, I was so nervous. My dad called me the next day. He watched the whole thing, I think the entire cast was being papped together.
Yeah.
That is what was happening there. And my dad called me, he said, are you nervous? Because I saw you, rubbing your hands like that, and you do that when you're nervous.
Yeah.
You were again and again rubbing your hands. I said I was very nervous because it was my theatrical release after 5 years. So I was really nervous. And especially when you're, standing with people like me, and you're bound to get nervous, right?
Of course.
And I think he was standing in front of me talking to somebody, and you don't even realize in that moment where you're looking, what you're looking at. It just...
How are you feeling? Do you want to see yourself a lot because even though it's a small part you played, it was a very crucial and a very important, it was like a catalyst for a lot of things. How do you see yourself in Animal Park, or probably future projects, because you have 2 more films coming up as well?
All I can say is Animal Park I don't know, because that is again a question for sir. But the other films that are coming up, all I can say is that it will be completely different from whatever I've done till now, including Animal. So it's a completely different...
I heard you're going to make us laugh.
Yeah, I am going to. Hopefully you will laugh.
Thank you so much. It was so lovely talking to you. And we wish you all the very best for everything coming in future and so many more